every one of you has good reason to be critical of me. I want to say to each of you, simply and directly, I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome to the show that mixes up the strange, the serious and the stupid. Coming up, Nick and Mark open the vault of stupid military inventions. Our massively awarded investigative journalist Victoria Dynamite exposes how well-meaning Australians are destroying Africa with goats. And Monique Schafter talks gay conversion therapies. Can the power of God turn a gay man straight?
I went through exorcisms, I fasted for 40 days twice.
But first, the spate of bashings of Indian students in Melbourne is not only bad for Australia's image, but it's also damaging a local industry worth $16 billion a year. In response, the Victorian government has set up a new private college offering courses to Indian students to help them assimilate into Melbourne life.
I'm all about the Indian Australian experience. In the first week, we give a broad introduction into being Australian. Hi, everyone. Good day, mate. How are you all going? Get it on, yeah. Fantastic. And then we focus it specifically on living in Melbourne, giving them the skills to blend in.
This golf is shit.
Well done, mate. Very well. We cover a whole gamut of topics, including what to talk about.
Cricket.
And this?
Football.
Fantastic. This one's a bit tricky.
Flowers blooming in the spring?
Not quite.
Football and cricket.
Having the right clothes and knowing what to wear is also a very important factor.
Dave, mate, that shirt's a bit bright. Could you go outside and put a darker one on?
Yeah, he's from Sydney. We also teach thinly veiled racism. That's classic Australian behaviour. There's a taxi in front of you. He's hesitating. It looks like it's been driven by an Indian. What do you say?
Hey, mate, what are you waiting for? Papadums? Let's go, mate.
10 points. Great use of double, mate. Well done.
Yeah. Do you think the doggies will get up this weekend?
Why would you want to live in Sydney? Have you been to that amazing new bar in Flinders Lane? It doesn't have a name or any signage, but it does have a mean espresso martini. Good!
If I can stop one
Very
bashing
important.
and keep one more fee-paying student here in Melbourne, I've done my job.
Oh, come give me a hug.
I've done my job.
Stuff said this week.
The Cowboys look as good as a Mercedes-Benz at home, but are uglier than Mercedes Corby when they hit the road. Mitchell Dale assessing the chances of the North Queensland Cowboys in this year's NRL competition. Rugby League Week, 17th of February, 2010.
I've eaten it myself, and it's a lot better than many other animals. Better than chicken, rabbit, or pigeon. Recently sacked Ready Steady Cook Italy co-host, Befi Benghazi, advocating the eating of domestic cats on his cooking show. Daily Mail, 18th February, 2010.
Israel never responds, never confirms, and never denies. Israeli Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman on his country's alleged involvement in the assassination of a Palestinian militant commander in Dubai. Associated Press, 18th February, 2010.
Put anything on ice and it immediately goes bad. Disney musicals, Scott, and even Ben Cousins. There's one other thing. The Olympics. I mean, take the bobsled. How much training does it take to get from the top of the hill to the bottom? Point down the hill, go. Can it really be called a sport when most of the work is done by gravity? And the luge, insanity. Is the death of a man hurtling down an ice track at 100 k's an hour on two metal blades wearing nothing but a lycra suit really a complete surprise? The summer games I get. They run, they swim. The winter games are a bit confusing. Do they go around the blue flag? Do they touch that thing? And what's with all the cowbells? I hear bells, I just don't see any cows. As for curling, there are other ways to see a couple of guys sweeping. It's called housework. Gold medal effort, guys. The Winter Olympics. They're crash, porn, lycra-clad, whites-only fripple fest on ice. And they're a little bit bullshit.
Meet the Australian submarine fleet. 6 Collins-class submarines, half a dozen of the most expensive mistakes we've ever made. HMAS Collins is the oldest. At its official launch in 1993, its combat systems were missing, and parts of its hull were made of wood painted black to create the illusion that it was finished. The full set of 6 was delivered by the year 2000 at a cost of $5 billion, but the subs came with a wide range of faults. Obsolete combat systems, periscopes that couldn't be raised without causing severe vibrations, and torpedoes that didn't fit their tubes. On top of that, they were noisy, not exactly desirable in a stealth weapon. According to former Defence Minister John Moore, the problems were so significant that colleagues argued to close the project down and sell the submarines for scrap. That argument went unheeded, and in 2003, 12,000 litres of seawater flooded the engine room of HMAS Deschanel while it was near its maximum safe depth. Had the flow of water continued for another 20 seconds, the vessel would have sunk, drowning all 55 crew. Of the 6 Collins-class submarines, only 1 is now operational. Some have been under repair for 2 years, and the others aren't expected to be back in the water anytime soon. Which is probably just as well, because although the fleet has 6 submarines, the Navy can only crew 3. With work shifts of up to 22 hours and stuck in confined spaces for months at a time, the submariner's job is so unpopular that a 2008 Defence Review found they had among the lowest morale of any personnel in the Navy. Defence is now focusing on recruitment and hopes to have 4 crews for their 6 submarines by next year. Despite the almost comical list of failings, last year the government outlined a plan to build 12 new submarines by 2025. Apparently, they'll be the biggest and most complex conventional submarines on the planet, and their construction in Adelaide will be the most expensive government project in Australia's history. $36 billion, more than 6 Snowy Mountain hydro schemes. A defence think tank estimates the same number of submarines could be bought from European manufacturers and modified for Australian conditions for a third of that cost, a saving of $25 billion. But this is more than an arms deal. Greg Combay, the government's man on defence purchases, calls it a nation-building program. The government claims we need 12 submarines to deter and defeat attacks on Australia. At the moment, we have 1 operational, and it's managing to keep the country safe. The Australian submarine fleet, a crippled class, a shortage of crew, sunken morale, yet still able to navigate the deepest pockets.
This weekend, the Sydney Mardi Gras Parade will celebrate gay and lesbian pride. But not every gay person is necessarily out and proud. In fact, some are so uncomfortable with their homosexuality that they want to change. I caught up with 3 guys whose religious beliefs led them to try and convert from gay to straight.
Have you seen Matthias on the fridge?
Anthony Menketti lives with his boyfriend Dan.
One day I will have those abs.
But as a teenager, struggled with his homosexuality and was sent to gay conversion therapy by his hyper-religious parents.
This is a photo of me and my girlfriend at the time. Looking back at that years later, I was like, oh my God, that's so sad. Like, her body language is so full on.
I went to gay conversion therapy because I didn't want to hurt my parents, but I also did it for myself because I didn't feel comfortable being gay.
When he first told me about that he went to gay conversion school, I was like, you kidding? Because I've never ever heard of anything like that. I was pretty shocked that things like that actually exist.
Hayden first became aware of his attraction to guys when he was 14. After being encouraged by a friend, he gave his life over to Christ in his final year of high school, believing Christianity could save him. But he found the sexual urge too strong.
I started to have sex with men when I was about 21. You know, like hooking up in public toilets and other places. And I know that not every gay person does that, but that's what I did. Every time I would sleep with someone, I'd use them, they'd use me, then we'd forget each other. I've kind of felt like I was a bit like slowly dying. I mean, I'm a Christian, and the Bible consistently says gay sex acts are sinful and that God won't accept them.
Determined to change his sexuality, he made a commitment to abstain from sex. He went to counselling, read books on the subject, and sought help from his church minister.
Changing myself is a bit of an interesting concept because for me, I was unable to change myself. I see it as being a spiritual regeneration. As I trust God with my sexuality, as I trust Jesus with my sexuality, he regenerates and changes me.
The conversion program at the place I went to consisted of starving your sexual urges to remove any temptations, so obviously no internet porn, but even things like things that you might, like Kmart catalogues, if you're into that, you have to, you know, get rid of the underwear page.
Anthony Van Brown is a former Pentecostal preacher who for 22 years tried to change his sexuality.
Cleanse me of every sin. Change me by your power.
He even got married and is the father of 2 daughters.
I think I tried probably everything possible to become heterosexual. There was lots of personal prayer, myself, counselling. I went through a Leben gay program for 6 months. I went through exorcisms. I fasted for 40 days twice, and I was married for 16 years. So when people say to me, you know, like, you didn't try hard enough, I want to hit them.
Hayden is so convinced in the power of Jesus, he's now married with 2 children.
When I met Jon, it was actually just after I came out of the gay life. I was a bit wary about, you know, meeting someone and getting married because I thought I didn't want to be premature because the risks are so great. I didn't want to marry someone and break their heart by doing something that I shouldn't.
His wife has known about his attraction to men from the start and supports him.
When I hear that he has a sexual attraction with the guy, I was really shocked. I thought, I'm not beautiful, but he's a Christian. I know he is a Christian, and then he has a strong mind.
Oh Lord, I beg you, let the man of God you sent to us come again to teach us how to bring up the boy who is to be born. My choice is whether or not I actually act upon it. So I choose not to act upon it. In its place, what I do is I have strong friendships with other guys, especially like straight guys, you know, like go play football together, go do guy things together, hang out with guys and just do guy stuff.
This is the Bible I used during my time at gay conversion school. As you can see, it's extremely well thumbed. Felt guilty at every part of it, I guess.
I did slip up during therapy. I had an affair with the team leader, which kind of happened because we had a bit of a kiss and then went to a gay club and partied the night away. And that was really my first experience in a gay club. So I was like, wow, this place is amazing. And I kind of kept on going after that. Coming out of it and living the life I live now, like, I just can't believe I ever did that.
It always does kind of sadden me when people start that process of healing, but they're expecting the cure, they're expecting the quick fix. I think that one day I will reach a point where I'm not sexually attracted to men. I've seen that healing and that change happen in other people.
I realised it wasn't working when I fell in love with a man at the age of 40. And then I was really forced to face reality that this 22 years of doing everything had actually changed nothing.
In regards to religious beliefs now, I certainly wouldn't say that nothing exists, but I just kind of try and be the best that I can be, and I certainly don't feel guilt for being who I am.
Can you be gay and Christian? No, you can't be.
Of course you can be gay and Christian. There's no debate on that in my mind because, you know, it's my morality which is a choice. My sexual orientation, however, isn't.
That doesn't mean that God won't heal, God won't forgive. He certainly can. But if you say that you're a Christian and you do not surrender that to God, then no, you can't be Christian.
Thanks to Hayden and both Anthonys for talking about their experiences with us. If you live in New South Wales, Victoria, Tassie or South Australia, at the end of the show you can join Hayden, Anthony Van Brown and me for a live forum on gay conversion at the Hungry Beast website.
While most advertisers have shied away from using Tiger Woods to endorse their products, in China, watch manufacturer Tag Heuer has increased Tiger's presence in its advertising. The company's chief executive says in Chinese tradition, success can be measured by the number of mistresses a man has. Sydney Morning Herald. The Australian Communications and Media Authority has received nearly 400 complaints so far this February over ceiling insulation installers telemarketing to people on the Do Not Call register. ACMA says this accounts for 43% of all complaints received for the month. ACMA press release. And sales of a certain snack sausage are up 40% in South Korea because they're being used as iPhone styluses. In the cold of winter, these impromptu meat pens mean people can avoid taking off their gloves. The sausage is reportedly electrostatically perfect for the phone's touchscreen. Kotki.org.
You know, America spends $685 billion on defence funding every year. And although we're supposedly living in an era of smart weapons, a fair bit of that cash is spent on stuff that's really, really dumb. We sent Marc Fennell and Nick Hayden to investigate.
The American military and intelligence community are the best in the world. They have super advanced laser-guided missiles, unmanned spy planes, and Jason Bourne. However, for all those brilliant military concepts, there were quite a few shit ones.
So, Hungry Beast proudly presents the stupidest ideas and inventions in US defence history.
Starting at the most innocuous end of the scale, the foul odour bomb. Back in World War II, the US distributed pocket-sized atomizers to the French resistance. Why? To spray on Nazis, of course. Humiliating them, hence demoralising the entire German army.
But why demoralise when you can decimate? The American military loved animals, and how did they show that love? By filling them with plastic explosives. You had birds, rats, and bats. You can take out the Luftwaffe with a good bat.
Not to be outdone, the Russians tried out anti-tank dog bombs. Basically, train a dog to dig for food under a German tank, strap on a bomb, and Godspeed, lassie!
Sure, World War II was dumb, but the Cold War, so much dumber. According to Fabian Escalante, Fidel Castro's one-time head of secret police, the ever-cuddly CIA attempted to assassinate Castro with poisoned cigars, pen syringes, toxic beard cream and, wait for it, because Castro was a keen deep-sea diver, exploding clams. Fidel turns 84 this year. But the real shit-stopper was Operation Acoustic Kitty. In 1961, the Central Intelligence Agency, in an attempt to spy on the Soviet Union, biologically altered a cat to be a listening device, complete with batteries and an antenna. There you go, Kitty, off you go.
The project, however, failed during testing.
When someone decided to run over the cat!
And just when you thought clam bombs and deadly pussies were as moronic as it got.
In 1979, they took it to a higher level.
That was when Lieutenant Colonel Jim Shannon founded the 1st Earth Battalion.
As documented in the book The Men Who Stare at Goats, it was a subsection of the army built on the principles of hippies.
Shannon wrote in this very field manual that soldiers had to be warrior monks. In fact, people used to call them Jedis. He even instructed them to approach all of their enemies with, and I quote, sparkly eyes. Yeah, we're pretty sure Shannon is the reason the army made drug testing mandatory.
But as far as stupid military ideas go, nothing compares to this.
Allow us to introduce the gay bomb.
Conceived in 1994 for the US Air Force, the gay bomb was intended to be a non-lethal gas that would disable the enemy by making them want to have sex with each other.
I know, it all sounds unbelievable. But you have to think outside the box to find new and innovative ways to kill people.
And so a platoon of Jedi soldiers or a cat communication system seems like perfectly rational behaviour in the quest for global dominance.
A quest America will continue well into the 21st century. God bless America!
Last Christmas, thousands of Australians, but none of the ones in this footage, overlooked traditional Christmas gifts and bought a goat for an African village. But now Africa's dark-skinned locals say stop the donations, they've had enough.
People in the first world tend to think that it's cute or trendy to give a goat for Christmas, but the reality is we are facing a major goat epidemic.
They're in my room, my kitchen, my toilet, everywhere.
Meet Abdi Alamangan, who we will rename Ungrateful John.
What sort of destruction have they done?
They've eaten all my clothes, my shirt.
Yuck! No! It's really disgusting! It's a bad thing you just did then. Do you understand?
There are different fads every year. 1997 was the year of the well. Last year, one of our villages got given 79 schools. They only have 4 students.
It's a classic case of beggars shouldn't be choosers. After all, the real people to suffer are the battlers back home in Australia.
So your boyfriend gave you a goat for Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty shit present.
Yeah.
Isn't this goat rightfully yours?
Yeah.
That's what I would have said.
But while Australians remain goatless, it seems these self-described Africans can only think of themselves.
Please stop sending these fucking goats.
Giving money to the needy can make you feel good, but not as good as a mani or a pedi at Nehl a Celebrity. It's a quarter of the price and double the fun. Nehl a Celebrity. Because feeling this good doesn't come for free.
$3.60. The sum the Indian government pays its hangmen for each execution performed. India can't recruit a single hangman at the moment, despite having nearly 300 prisoners on death row. $500 million US. The amount Google is alleged to be earning each year through typos. The claim centres on a practice known as typo squatting, where a misspelt variant of a popular web address is registered and ads are placed on it to catch the clumsy-fingered surfer. $122. The amount to have your beloved pet babysat by an atheist after the rapture takes all good Christians to heaven.
I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. It's not about the world or anything, it's just about your own experiences.
Worst thing I've ever done?
I can't tell you that.
I've never murdered anyone. I was pretty shit to my parents in high school.
Scream at my daughter and make her cry.
Not listening to parents' advice at earlier years. It's probably the worst thing. Don't stretch your ears, it'll make it harder to gain employment. I laughed, I thought that was silly, but no, they were right.
You know, it's funny, I remember stealing some rent money from friends of mine many years ago.
I've been in stolen car and things like that, but I've done worse than that, but I can't tell you.
I knocked over a pregnant woman and I felt very ashamed of myself. And when her husband stood up, I really wanted him to hit me.
I belted a bloke up and ended up in jail because he was belting his girlfriend. So, shouldn't have belted him. But I can't tolerate blokes who hit women.
Trusted men. Trusted men that did the wrong thing by me.
Dad gave me money to give up smoking. Like, he gave me a lot of money.
Everyone tells a lie here and there, you know,
to get yourself ahead?
He gave me like $20,000 to give up smoking. And I kept on smoking. And still to this day, he doesn't know.
Had to put a dog down without any proper facilities to be able to do it. Haunts me sometimes. I go past the same place and I remember.
Had a mate that was in need once and I didn't step up to the plate for him, and he went on a bit of a downward spiral after that, and I didn't actually sort of step in when I could have.
I guess doing crime to put me in prison. Yeah. A whole heap of crime. Yeah. And being incarcerated for so long and being away from family, friends.
That's it for Hungry Beast right now. Don't forget though, there's new stories on the website every day.
And of course there are your videos up there as well. Last week we asked you to tell us what you would do if it was your last day on Earth before an asteroid hit us, which could happen at any second.
Responses range from getting a haircut to having half an hour of mad sex. Our pick of the week though was hotly debated around the office, with Wolf Herman's webcam manifesto.
Go Wolf!
Narrowly missing out to an animation by James Egan. Here's a taste.
I'd start the day with a healthy breakfast, maybe shoot the breeze, then perform open heart surgery, go on a roller coaster without a harness, fly out, die, get cremated, and then have my ashes thrown into the mouths of my enemies. That's it.
And you can see James's full animation and other viewer videos on our website.
Next week, we want you to tell us, or better show us, what stupid invention you would make if you were the US military. Post your videos on our website, and if you don't have a video camera, just shoot it on your mobile phone or record a comment on your webcam.
And don't forget, right now there's a live forum about gay conversion happening on our website, abc.net.au/hungrybeast, unless you're in WA, the NT or Queensland, in which case it's over, but you can log on and check out what people had to say.
We'll see you there. Good night.
Good night.
Next week on Hungry Beast, following the Catholic Church's lead, the Church of Scientology hopes to boost its publicity by anointing its first patron saint.
We're thrilled to announce Tom Cruise will become our first saint after having performed many miracles. He completed a mission thought to be impossible, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
And we reveal just what the government plans to do with all that leftover foil insulation.
We're going to build a world-class, state-of-the-art shiny thing to distract everyone from Peter Garrett. So, yeah, should be good.
That's next week on Hungry Beast.